What's up, y'all? Y'all come on in.
All my bitches out of China, you know you what's up, yeah. All my bitches out of China, you know you what's up, yeah. All my bitches out of China, you know you what's up, yeah. All my bitches out of China, baby, you enough, yeah. All my bitches out of China, baby, you enough, yeah.
Come on in, everybody.
You know you what's up, yeah. All my bitches out of China, you know you what's up, yeah.
Yes.
The blast I am in hole. What they know. Here I go. Drop that ass to the floor. We in top. Yeah. Let go. Blast I am in hole.
What's up, y'all? Come on in. We finna get ready to get into it in a minute.
Here I go. Drop that ass to the floor.
Come on in, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We finna dive in it. We got good information from Dr. UMAR about the surveillance videos with Carmelo Anthony. So we finna get into that. Y'all come on in, subscribe to the channel, like the video, grab your blunts, grab your liquor, grab your blunts, grab your liquor. What's up, Jungle Juice Lover? Shout out Jungle Juice Lover. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We finna get into it. We got some good audio clips. Got good audio clips of Dr. Umar basically analyzing it. We got audio clips from Law and Crime 2 of the whole situation. And that's how we're gonna start it off. And then we're gonna get into Dr. Umar. Y'all come on in, like the video, subscribe to the channel.
All my bitches out of China, you know what's up, yeah. All my bitches out of China, baby, you enough, yeah. All my bitches out of China, you know you what's up, yeah. Land in Hong Kong,
that's where her family from. I ain't hold put me on. Her dad got 30 farms. They all in Waterstone. Gang strong. What's up, Diddy? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What's up, Mas Joe? Bitch, do it rough, yeah. Drop it down to the floor, but not in a rush, yeah. Bitch, you a crush, yeah. I'ma drink it up, yeah.
All my bitches out of China, baby, you enough, yeah. All my bitches out in China, you know you what's up, yeah. All my bitches out in China, baby, you enough, yeah. All my bitches out in China, you know you what's up, yeah.
What's up, user Ian? What it do? You alright? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We finna get into it in a little minute. Y'all go ahead, grab your cups, grab your blunts, grab your cigars. Let this music rock out to the end. And then we gonna get into it. Everybody come on in, like the video, subscribe to the channel. 19, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. In America. I'm good using it. I'm good, man. Yep, bringing this information, man. Going live, trying to keep the streaming consistent. So hopefully one day I'll be able to get paid for it. The researching, the up late nights and stuff, bringing the information to the internet, it's a job within itself. It's like studying for exams. I'm like scouring through the internet, looking for different clues, looking for new stories and everything like that. It's hard work, man, but hopefully it pays off. So what's up, y'all coming in? Come on, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We finna get into it. This first clip we gonna start with is from True Crime. True Crime has also done video and research on the Carmelo Anthony case. And anytime True Crime does any kind of whenever True Crime backs up or does any kind of story or anything like that, I love to listen to True Crime and get their side of the story, because True Crime really, they're really a big media outlet that has access to so much information, including stuff that's harder to get information on, like government stuff, government situations, like with the war, if a treaty has been signed or something like that. True Crime is really gonna get you that background information that you do need, to know, that the media outlets are not gonna really let you know. Yeah, user EN, I do believe in God. I do. User Crezo, what's up? What's up? You good, man? Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. So now we finna go ahead and play this from True Crime.
We are following a major update in the case of a high school athlete allegedly stabbed to death by another high school athlete at a track meet.
I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Carmelo Anthony, which they did.
A Texas district attorney taking...
Now, I didn't know that that's how they got to him being charged with first-degree murder. When the black female judge gave Carmelo Anthony bond, the district attorney who was going to be fighting for the community and fighting for the state, the district attorney in the Carmelo Anthony case, instantly went up and on social media and the news outlets the day after the black judge gave Carmelo Anthony bond, and he asked, when he went up the next day in the media, he asked the Supreme Court to charge Carmelo Anthony with first-degree murder. So that's how he got the first-degree murder charge. The district attorney asked the Supreme Court, could they give him first-degree murder instead of a manslaughter charge, instead of a second-degree murder charge, anything like that. So I figured that out, and I was like, that's why I love True Crime.
To social media to announce Carmelo Anthony is formally facing charges that could lock him up for life. But that's not the only big development in this case. We got our hands on details of a surveillance video of the alleged attack that killed Austin Metcalf. We will dive into what it shows. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
The thing is, FC, yeah, he killed somebody. He's a murderer, surely. But in that same state, in that same city, 2 days before they charged Carmelo Anthony with first-degree murder, a white kid stabbed a Latino kid in the bathroom. They were supposed to be fighting, and the white kid got into it with the Latino kid, and he stabbed the Latino kid in a fight. They were supposed to be meeting up to fight. He stabbed this Latino kid, And guess what they give him? They only gave him 2 years. And that Latino kid died. Rest in peace to him and condolences to his family. So if you can give the white kid 2 years for killing a Latino and you give the black kid 35 years for killing a white kid, it's crazy. It's how the law works, right?
Even though the district attorney in Collin County, Texas, is going for a first-degree murder conviction of KARMELO Anthony, there are a lot of people who are taking that teen's defense, saying that he acted in self-defense. Now, what does the evidence say? At least the evidence that we know about at this point. The school district in Frisco, Texas, has said it has surveillance video of Anthony's confrontation with Austin Metcalf at that midweek track meet in April, where Anthony allegedly stabbed Metcalf in the chest and killed him. At this point, allegedly murdered him. We'll get into what that video reportedly shows in a moment, but here's what we know about what led up to that alleged attack on April 2nd in Frisco, north of Dallas. Austin Metcalf's and KARMELO Anthony's schools were competing at a track meet. If you've ever run track, you ever been to a track meet, you know that teams typically have spots around the track where athletes can hang out with their teammates in between events.
Come on in
Like
Austin
the video, Metcalf's case, to the channel. He was with his twin brother and their teammates under a tent, according to police, because rain had started to fall and that delayed the track meet. Now, witnesses say another athlete who wasn't on Metcalf's team stood under the tent. His name was KARMELO Anthony.
KARMELO Anthony, class of 2025, Centennial High School, Frisco, Texas.
That's video of Anthony mic'd up for a football tournament for Carolina Sports District that we found on YouTube. He and Metcalf were both football stars at their Texas high schools. Metcalf was taking recruiting visits at some big schools like Arkansas. He planned to play at the next level. And Anthony also posted on social media that he was receiving scholarship offers to go play college football. You wonder now.
So both of them was, I'm not going to say good kids as far as behavior, but both of them was good kids as far as academics. Austin Metcalf, he had received multiple scholarships for football from different colleges and everything. And KARMELO Anthony had also received from his school, multiple football and track scholarships to go to college. But unfortunately, neither one of them will be going to college on a football scholarship or a track scholarship. Rest in peace, Austin.
If that will ever happen because of what he allegedly did next on April 2nd. That day, KARMELO Anthony and Austin Metcalf got into a confrontation under the tent. According to witnesses, Metcalf told Anthony to leave the team's tent, and at that point, Anthony allegedly reached into his backpack and said something along the lines of "make me." Here's what Austin's twin brother told WFAA-TV.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track.
Now, I'm hearing Austin's brother as he's telling the news what happened, and he's saying so many times. If your brother just died, it ain't no when you tell him what happened. You know exactly what happened. You seen exactly what happened. It ain't no problem with you remembering how your brother just died in front of your face. But the thing is, there has been rumors stirring that people are starting to actually see the video and saw that they approached KARMELO from away from the tent. They came away from the tent. They weren't under the tent when KARMELO was under the tent. But when they saw KARMELO under the tent, Austin grabbed his brother and two other guys from the football team, and they surrounded KARMELO and jumped him. And through the struggle of him trying to get out, he stabs Austin, and then he runs straight to a teacher crying, saying, "I stabbed him." is he okay? Is he gonna be okay? Right? They said two guys had already went and distracted the teacher while they got ready to jump Carmelo. When he stabbed Austin, it was through the struggle of trying to get out of in between all four of the guys that had surrounded him to jump him. He seen after he ran, they said the three guys, the two guys and Austin brothers started chasing after him. Austin got ready to chase after him, and they said that's when you could see on the camera Austin grab his chest and fall to the ground. I guess from his adrenaline rushing, he didn't feel that he had been stabbed until he had lost so much blood. By the time he looked down, he was dead. He fell to the ground. So this is his brother giving his testimony of how he saw his brother supposedly die or take his last breaths.
And Austin Metcalf got into a confrontation
right
under the tent. According to witnesses, Metcalf told Anthony to leave the team's tent. And at that point, Anthony allegedly reached into his backpack and said something along the lines of "make me." Here's what Austin's twin brother told WFAA TV.
There was this kid,
he crying.
Before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack.
Austin grabbed Carmelo's
I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab.
Police say as Metcalf
come on in, like the video,
pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf
to the channel.
in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. What Anthony allegedly did next could be damning if his case goes to trial. Anthony allegedly ran to another part of the track after stabbing Metcalf. When police arrived, the first officer to make contact with Anthony wrote in the arrest report that he asked Anthony to put his hands in the air. Then Anthony allegedly said, quote, "I was protecting myself." The officer also said that Anthony told him, quote, "He put his hands on me."
You said,
and when
Eric
the officer
Cotson,
said that he Anthony in custody, the teen allegedly said, and this is the damning part, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." Police say that Anthony ditched the knife and ran before he was arrested by officers.
That you heard what he told the officer? When the officer told Carmelo to put his hands up, when he was with the teacher and the officer first made it on the scene, he said, "I'm not trying to run. I did it." He said the officer told the operator that it was an alleged stabbing, and Carmelo told him it's not alleged, I did it, and asked him, will the guy be okay? While he was crying, will he be okay? Will he be okay? But the officer never answered him.
Who note in their reports that Anthony was hysterically crying when arrested,
like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Okay. Anthony was initially held on $1 million bond, but then the judge in this case, less than 2 weeks after he was arrested, lowered Carmelo's bond to $250,000, which he was able to make. Here's video. Per WFAA of Anthony walking free. He will have to wear a GPS monitor, be on house arrest, and he checks in with the court each Friday. And if he doesn't follow those rules, he will go back into custody. Before we get back to this episode of On the Case, I want to talk about something important, because a lot of the stories that we cover here at Law and Crime, you see them, they show that life can be unpredictable, and having a great lawyer matters. And that's where our partners at Morgan.
Yeah, when he's saying that Austin put his hands on him because they jumped him. When he's saying Austin put his hands on him, they said Austin is the one who took him and put him in a headlock, had him in a headlock. They said his first mugshot photos, you can see abrasions on his neck and bruises up under his eye. But for the media and the news outlets got the photos and airbrushed them, which means they just put the little filter effects over to make your face look smooth. Like when you take prom pictures or senior heads at school and stuff, like I got a little indention right there over my eye, like it's permanent, right on my skin. But when they take the pictures of me for my graduation, the editing program is editing software they use, they can airbrush over that to where my face looks super smooth. You can't see any bumps or anything. And that's what they did to his mug shot. We gonna get to it. So, cause I want y'all to hear it for y'all self, but we're gonna get to it. But I'm just letting y'all know because this is what I'm doing. I'm studying this. I'm checking multiple sources, and then I'm bringing it back to y'all. And then we breaking it down together and we analyzing it together. That's why we got the comment section for everybody. You know, when I say something, if you feel like it could have went this way, say it in the comments. We gonna break it down together. Your opinion is always needed. It's not just me. I'm not the only analyst here. We are Blockstar analysts together. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get back into it. This is true crime, and this is their investigation on the Carmelo Anthony case.
And Morgan come in the past few months. Morgan & Morgan secured a $9.3 million verdict for a car crash in Florida, a $5.6 million verdict for another car accident victim in Atlanta, not to mention $1.8 million in Kentucky. And in that case, the insurance company offered just a mere $5,000. So even if you don't think your case is worth millions of dollars, why not fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan makes it so easy to file a claim. You can do it with just 8 easy clicks on your phone. So if you've been hurt, you need to file a claim, go to www.forthepeople.com/OTC. You can also scan the QR code on your screen or click the link below. Judge Angela Tucker has not allowed cameras in court for this case, but according to KDFW, Anthony's defense argued at a bond hearing that he wasn't a flight risk and $1 million was just too high of a bond for his family to be able to afford. Now, the lowering of the bond to $250,000 made the judge the target of threats. Collin County, Texas posted on social media saying, quote, "We are aware of a social media post on this platform that appears to dox a sitting judge, sharing a judge's private..."
That's what they were saying. They were saying, especially Dr. UMAR, they were saying that the kids were scared. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the whole school is on Austin's side. So if you a kid under the tent and you decide to testify and your testimony don't match everybody else's at the school, you actually give a testimony that's helping out the black kid, Carmelo Anthony, at a mostly white school, they're gonna do you wrong and send you death threats just like they sending his family death threats. You won't be able to come back to school because of what you said in the trial, right? And then it's like the attorney that his family got, the white attorney, he's an outsider. He's not even from Collins County. So him coming in trying to do this and do that, they not gonna allow him to. He was basically right with the damn district attorney and the judge. He wasn't even working for Carmelo Anthony. If you ask me, that lawyer was working for his own law firm. He was working just so he could get the retainer because he had already signed off for the retainer. So he was just working to get the retainer. He didn't even allow Carmelo Anthony to take the stand. If he would have allowed Carmelo Anthony to take the stand, just say that Carmelo Anthony say that everything that everybody already said was right. That he didn't get jumped, that Austin didn't put him in a headlock. Austin just told him to get from under the tent and then pushed him, and he pushed Austin back, and then Austin pushed him, and then he stabs Austin and runs out. Just say that he says that all of that happened. Man, that young dude was so emotional in court that if the jury would have been able to see his emotion on the stand, and if he would have been able to get on that stand and apologize for what he did to the family, to his dad, to his mom, to his brother for taking their son and the brother away from them, if he could have just got on the stand and said that while showing emotion, the jury would have been on this more on his side, and most likely it would have been a mistrial because somebody would have voted out of those 12 white jurors from somebody hearing Carmelo Anthony's testimony and seeing him break down and seeing him cry and seeing him apologize, because they was really, all the jurors was really paying attention to what his parents was doing on the outside. The damn felon of a pastor, baby mamas, and that shook one of his baby mama's 2-year-old baby till they had brain damage. This the person that you got speaking for your son while he's in jail. And then that same baby shaking pastor kicked Jeff rally when he came to pray with them after he said in an interview on Inside Edition that he forgave Carmelo Anthony. So the jury is paying attention to that, and they saying, damn, his parents wasn't remorseful at all when the victim, the one who actually lost his son, and they still have a chance of saving their son, and they wasn't even not one lick of remorseful. So they say, if this is his parents is raising him, if they're not remorseful, then he's not remorseful. We can say that. That's what the jury was looking at. But if they could have seen it from his side, if their lawyer would have let Carmelo Anthony get up there on the stand, for sure he would have broke down, because the prosecutor, the district attorney, the prosecutor, they were gonna be hard on him. I'm talking about they was gonna be so hard on him with cross-examination, he wouldn't have been able to do nothing but break down. Then we would have saw the Carmelo Anthony at the track meet that the coach that he ran to said he was just crying. He never stopped crying, and he was telling me that he just stabbed someone. And is he okay? Right? And then the police officer locks him up, put him in the back of the car, and said that he was crying, asking, was the guy gonna be okay? If they could have saw that inside the court, not on the TV screen, but in realization, then I believe that he would have, even if they would have still gave him a lot of years, he would have probably got 20 instead of 35, and had to do like half of the 20 years and the rest on probation and all of that type shit, community service and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To give back to the community that he took from. He took Austin from that community, and he took himself from that community. Both of them had football scholarships and track scholarships to different colleges already. Both of them. So there would have been 2 rising stars out of that community, a white one and a black one. So he took himself and Austin. He took 2 rising stars from that community. So community service for sure, for 10 years or something like that. Yeah, after he done did 10 years locked down. Yeah, as a kid, that 10 years locked down and 10 years community service as he's growing into an adult, you know what I'm saying? That was gonna teach him. That was gonna teach him this
Information is a
lesson right there.
crime and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Cameras may not be allowed in court for this case, but there is so much of this trial that is very visible playing out in the court of public opinion. A crowdfunding site has raised more than $500,000 for Carmelo Anthony's defense. People saying that they believe Carmelo is not a murderer and that he acted in self-defense. Anthony's family held a news conference saying they have become the victim of threats. Here's Anthony's mom speaking per KDFW.
In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between...
Yeah, so lock him up, then keep on threatening his mom, keep on threatening his dad, and keep on threatening his little 3 baby brothers and sisters, keep on threatening them for their life, and spray painting their house and throwing bricks through the window like some racist ass Jim Crow law shit from back in the 1960s, Martin Luther King days and shit like that. It used to be when black people spoke up for black people that was in bad situations, white people were respected if they wasn't racist. But if they was racist, they wouldn't respect it. So look, right now today, if any white people is in these comments and they not respecting black people standing up for a black kid that they know made a mistake, because he's a kid. Kids make mistakes, and sometimes they make big ass mistakes, right? And they can sit there and say he's a murderer, he got what he deserved, and they can constantly say that and constantly bash people, black people, for taking up for their young black kid. That shows me that they racist, just like the ones back in the day that hated John F. Kennedy for being on Martin Luther King's side, right? The white people, they hated it so much that they shot this man in the head, right? Because he was gonna start changing. Like, you know, the internet makes it possible for anybody and everybody to be hurt. But then when people see people hurt, people have no remorse towards it. Nowadays, those are the people that will end up in hell. You know what I'm saying? They'll end up in hell. Hell on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe the devil and demons walk around us right now. The only thing is they engulfed in flames, right? And what makes the devil and demons so mad at us is that they engulfed in flames. We walking through the flames that we can't see, and it don't even hurt us. We living our life right here, hell on earth, right? We living our life right there in front of them, and they so mad that we can't feel the fire. You know what I'm saying? But them racist folks and them hateful folks that's in the comments or out there in the world today, boy, when we go to hell, they left here on earth and they be able to feel them flames, then they gonna say, man, I shoulda thought about it. Yeah, we all God's children. Sometimes we should try to be more like God. God forgave shit. Jesus, Peter for cutting the nigga ear off. Peter cut somebody's ear off for Jesus because he didn't want him to be crucified. Jesus forgave him for that and gave the man his ear back. Did he look at Peter and say, you deserve to go to jail? No, because he understands anger and rage, and he understands hurt, and he understands pain. So we got to be more like that as human today. We got to understand hate, rage, anger, pain. We got to understand when a kid has more troubles controlling hate, anger, rage, pain. It's when we become an adult that we don't have any excuse, right? And nowadays, the internet and technology and the games, Grand Theft Autos and all of that shit, it just poisons our kids' minds. Let's get back into this law and crime clip.
Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
And the tension between families has been high. At that same news conference, Jeff Metcalf showed up. He's Austin's dad. He was there. He stood in front of cameras and sunglasses and protest until he was escorted out per KTV team. Jeff Metcalf has also been
Y'all come on in, like the video, subscribe to the channel.
He posted a response to the news that Carmelo Anthony, his son's alleged killer, had been indicted on a charge of first-degree murder. I'll tell you what he said in just a moment, but let's get to this grand jury.
Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis posted that video on social media announcing that a grand jury has indicted Carmelo Anthony on a charge of first-degree murder. If found guilty, Anthony,
his parents,
who's now 18,
his
could
dad
face
racist as
5
hell.
to 99.
I think that's why his mom left his dad, because his dad racist as hell and he abusive as hell, and she couldn't take it no more. Shit, Austin broke his collarbone, broke his dad's collarbone for putting his hands on his mama so many times. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, his dad is so mad and all of this shit and calling people drunk bitches and calling Carmelo watermelon felon, but his wife not doing, his ex-wife, she's not doing none of that. She's not even agreeing to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? She don't want nothing, no kind of connection with him. That's why his ex-wife, she ain't never even chimed in on it. She ain't even recognized it or nothing like that. I bet she's sitting at the house like, why in the fuck did he just say that? That's why I left him. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the thing. He's sitting around calling the young black dude watermelon felon. You know how many black people it is in Texas? I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. You know how many black people it is in Texas that know what he look like and hate him for saying that, and he just put himself in danger. Now he got to look over his shoulder everywhere he go. He can't go to the grocery store and grocery shop at a Walmart or anything like that. You got to watch what you say about people. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch what you say to people. And that's something that he wasn't even thinking about. My guy, you got to shop Uber Eats and motherfucking Postmates. Yeah, somebody got to go shopping for you in the grocery store, not Jeff McCall. Somebody got to go shopping for you in the store now. Go ahead, Uber Eats, goddammit, Postmates, all the other little eating apps and grocery shopping apps. You might as well order your food and groceries through them, because you can't be caught in a Walmart, in a drive-through line or nothing by a black person that love blacks, that love black kids, especially after what you said about that young black boy and his parents. Boy, black people all through Texas hate you. I feel bad for him. He got to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life.
Jeff Metcalf, Austin's dad, posted on social media, quote, indicted, first-degree murder, all in caps, with hashtag justice for Austin. Carmelo Anthony's defense attorney is named Mike Howard.
Mike Howard, your Dallas criminal defense lawyer, here to talk to you today about what to expect when you're looking to hire a lawyer.
This is a video of Howard posted on his office's Facebook page, just to give you an idea of what he looks like, what he sounds like. Howard hasn't commented on the indictment of his client, but the Anthony family also has a
like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Minister Dominique Alexander, who posted this picture with Anthony after he was released on bond. He was the person who escorted Anthony out of court when he was able to make bond. Alexander Alexander went public with his reaction to the indictment, calling for people to pray for the Anthony family and saying in part, quote, "To the racists, the bigots, and those filled with hate who've targeted Carmelo, his family, and even myself, you do not intimidate us. We are not backing down." This case is yet another example of what it means to be black in America, where even our self-defense is questioned, scrutinized, and politicized. My involvement, like many others, came as a direct response to the overwhelming hate, threats, and outside influence that have surrounded this case since day one. He also said, quote, "There will be a trial." Another critical piece of evidence, if this goes to trial, will be this surveillance video that came from the Frisco Independent School District. The ISD has video from a camera that's mounted on the stadium of the alleged murder of Austin Metcalf. Now, the district is not releasing a copy of the video. They're not letting reporters take pictures of the video, but they did allow reporters to see it. WFAA in Dallas wrote that the video, it's wide angle of the stadium, and the incident happens in the small left corner of the screen. Quote, "It's difficult to determine how many people are present or what exactly is happening at the tent. Around 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement is observed at the tent, but the alleged act itself is not visible. There are a lot of moving but heavily pixelated figures at the top of the bleachers, just above the tent, and at the bottom of the tent. It appears to be sprinkling at the time," end quote. According to the TV station, that video is believed to be one of the pieces of evidence that was presented to the grand jury ahead of their indictment of Carmelo Anthony this week on a charge of first-degree murder. Joining us now is Bridget Williams, criminal defense attorney. Great to see you again. Thanks for talking about this story with us. What does this grand jury indictment mean for the case against Carmelo Anthony?
So this is just a regular routine process that has to happen for any felony case in the state of Texas. So any case that moves forward to an actual trial setting has to first go through a grand jury. So the thing is that a grand jury,
y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Cause for an officer to make an arrest.
Let's get them likes up, y'all.
It's a very stark difference from what the grand jury decides and what actually goes on in a trial. So the first step is the arrest that was made by the police officers, did it rise to the level of probable cause? So was there enough evidence? And if it moves forward to that,
I think it was
that
enough
point,
evidence.
Goes to a trial, the burden is raised to beyond a reasonable doubt, which is much, much higher.
And Carmelo Anthony's now been indicted with first-degree murder. For it to be first degree compared to second degree, what will the district attorney in Collin County, Texas have to prove?
So first degree murder is pretty much meditated, intentional murder, right? I intended to do this. Here in Texas, second degree would be reduced down to a manslaughter charge.
And that's the thing. I don't even think that he intended to do it. You know what I'm saying? I think it just happened, you know, out of shock. I think that's what happened. I think he did it out of shock. But they hit him with first degree murder, and first degree murder is basically premeditated, intended to do it. It's like stalking. It's like he premeditated. He thought about it. He went and got the knife. He came back. He stalked them, and then he went and killed them. That's first degree murder. It's premeditated. And that's crazy that the DA would ask the Supreme Court 2 days after the black judge grant Carmelo his bond, that the DA would ask the Supreme Court to give him a first degree murder, charge him with first degree murder. That's crazy.
Which gives not necessarily intent and doesn't also
y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel.
I intended for this to happen, the intentional killing of
another.
Yep,
it was manslaughter at the most, and that's what I believe.
Was there an intentional killing of another? And those are set elements that are set out in the Texas Penal Code.
And with that, because you look at
And
what
he didn't
we
even,
understand police say.
intentional, that's why I say manslaughter. Intentional, I feel like he would have stabbed, if he intended to stab him and kill him, he wouldn't have just stabbed him once. He wouldn't have just stabbed him and said, I hope I killed him. If he intended to kill him, he would have stabbed him multiple times. Because he doesn't know that he's stabbing him straight in the heart when he stabbed him in the chest. He just stabbed, and ran. Get off me. Get off me, and ran. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not intentional. Like when you see a murder on the news or a murder on TV, like whether it's with a gun or a knife, when it's premeditated and it's intentional, especially with a knife, the person usually be stabbed multiple times. It'd be multiple times stabbing. And when it's premeditated and with a gun, which you can probably shoot a person once and take their life. When it's premeditated with a gun, that person be shot multiple times. Like here in Memphis, when they killed the rapper Dolph. That was premeditated. That was first degree murder. Right? That was premeditated. Them two young guys got together when they heard that Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, through Hernandez Govan, Orange Mountain quit. They heard from Orlando Govez, right? They heard from him that Big Jook was willing to pay $100,000 for whoever killed Young Dolph, and he would pay $50,000 for every other PRE member, right? These young dudes was finna hop on the expressway because Young Dolph, it was doing a turkey drive. And what he does is, at first he just started in the hood where me and him from, Castalia. He started in the hood, South Memphis, and he used to give out turkeys at Thanksgiving. But then, once he got big, he still gave them out in the hood, but before Thanksgiving would come, he would give out turkeys in all the hoods in Memphis. So he would give out turkeys in Westwood. He would give out turkeys in Whitehaven, where Elvis Presley Boulevard and the big Elvis Presley mansion at. He would give out turkeys in East Memphis, where I went to high school at, Wooddale High and Sheffield High. He would give out turkeys in South Memphis, North Memphis, and West Memphis, right? And then on the week before Thanksgiving, that Friday before Thanksgiving, he would give out turkeys in his hood. That'd be the last place he give out turkeys. So he had the other young guys of PRE giving out turkeys in Westwood on this day that he had just made it back into the city. Dolph's grandma and his niece wanted some cookies from Makita's, the cookie shop. So Dolph went to the cookie shop with his brother from Whitehaven. So they in South Memphis, in the cookie shop in South Memphis, Castalia in South Memphis. So South Memphis and Whitehaven intersect right there at Airways Boulevard, where our airport is here in Memphis, right? So he's coming from Whitehaven, and they finna get ready to hop on the expressway right there at Airways Boulevard. Young Dolph coming through the light, and they see his car. Everybody know in Memphis, only Young Dolph got them camouflage cars. Instead of them driving through the light and going to Westwood, because they was finna shoot up the turkey drive in Westwood and shoot some young guys in Westwood, right? Shoot some of the PRE members in Westwood so they could get the 50,000. One of them said, there go Dolph right there. Where Dolph was, Makita's cookie shop, it's in a little small shopping center All right, it's a Family Dollar on the left side of Makita's Cookie, and in the shopping center with Makita's Cookies, it's a washer, like a coin op washer and dryer, where you can take your clothes and wash your clothes and dry your clothes, right? A laundry mat is what a lot of folk call it, but here in Memphis we call it coin ops, right? Laundry coin ops, right? And then beside the coin op is a little side street, and on the other side of that little side street is a Shell gas station, right? Dolph coming through the light past the Shell gas station. He finna pull into the lot of Makita's Cookies. These fools go down, bust a U-turn, and turn on that street in between the laundromat and the Shell gas station. And remember, the laundromat is right there next door to Makita's. They go turn on that street, give Dolph time to park his car, and him and his brother get out the car where they're not protected because their Corvette was bulletproof. They get out the car where they're not protected and walk in Makita's. The whole front of Makita's is straight glass. So he's standing in there. He done ordered the cookies and he's on the phone. These guys, they on their side street, they bust a U-turn and come back up the side street real slow. And then they sit there on the side street right beside the laundromat, and they sit there and wash the car for about 5 to 10 minutes to make sure, because they can't see that Dolph standing in Makita's. They on the side. They stand there, they sit there, and they wash the car to see if anybody get out, right? Since nobody don't get out in 10 minutes, they like, he gotta be in Makita's. They pull up behind the car and they run out. This is premeditated. They run out. One of them got a semi-automatic rifle and the other one got a handgun. The one with the semi-automatic rifle, which that guy name was Cornelius, he ran up on young Dolph standing next to the window, and he started spraying the gun like this. So Dolph can't run this way or this way because he's spraying the gun like this. So the bullets are flying across Dolph like this, right? Dolph falls around and his chain fly off his neck. That's when the guy with the handgun run up, and he's shooting Dolph in like head and chest area. The dude that had the semi-automatic that was waving it like this across the window that knocked Dolph on the ground, he's still shooting it like this while Dolph on the ground. That's premeditated. They got guns. They done already killed him. They still shooting him to make sure he dead. Then after that, they get on the phone, Instagram video call Big Jook and tell him, yo, got his brother Big Jook. They video call him on Instagram and tell him that they just killed Dolph. That's premeditated, and that was with guns. They stalked him, they hunted him down, and they put plenty of bullets in him. They didn't even have to shoot Dolph that many times. You know what I'm saying? And the guy that they got the information from that said that Big Jook was paying $100,000 for it was Hernandez Govan. And what happened right now with him? He beat up his baby mama, threatened her that he would put naked videos of her online, and then he threatened that he would get somebody to shoot up her house. And guess what happened? You out on a $4,000 bond from the Dolph trial. Guess what happened? The feds picked up the case. Now the feds done locked him up. Premeditated.
Happened at this track meet, and there was this altercation between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony reaches in allegedly into his bag, and then Metcalf comes up to him, and then it feels very spur of the moment in some ways with the narrative that's been laid out. When you talk premeditated, you know, this isn't a case where...
Now see, this is This is true crime. Did you hear what the anchor just said? He just explained the Carmelo situation, and he said it seems like this is just a spur of the moment thing. It doesn't sound like that this was premeditated. Even he's saying it. So if he know, the district attorney and the prosecutor knew that this was not premeditated. This was not first degree murder. If anything, it was if it wasn't manslaughter, it was second degree. Come on now. 20 years.
He woke up this morning probably and felt like he was going to go stab somebody allegedly at a track meet.
Yeah, he did
What's
not.
the time that
He
fits
didn't
in
wake
for it
up.
to be considered
Y'all like the
premeditated
video,
as
subscribe
opposed
to the
to
channel.
being
We
in the
getting
heat of the
into it.
moment and something
Dr.
happens
Umar
where
next.
I would assume it would be second degree murder.
He actually
Yeah,
got
that's a good point.
witnesses
I
that
think
seen the
that's something that would come
videos.
out in the trial setting. However, in this situation, Carmelo Anthony, he admits to the killing of this other young man, right? He admits to it, and he says that he was defending himself. So he's saying, okay, I did intentionally kill him. I meant to do that, but it was because I was defending myself and I felt threatened. I thought that he was going to harm me in some way. I thought that he was coming for me to assault me, to harm me. So I was defending myself. So that's really the difference here. I think that it's more of that difference of his desire to say, well, I was
Y'all like
defending
the video,
myself,
subscribe to the
opposed
channel.
to necessarily the time.
The district attorney who released the video last night saying that the death of Austin Metcalf, it was a violent death, and Carmelo Anthony has been indicted after the evidence was presented to a grand jury on first-degree murder charges. You're in the Dallas area. What do you know about the district attorney in that county, Greg Willis?
Well, Greg Willis he's been the DA for a while over in Collin County.
Okay.
He was former prosecutor.
Okay.
He is someone who leads the DA's office pretty much
Okay,
fairly,
he started
I would
off
say,
as a
Collin
prosecutor.
County. But he is someone who's also going to be sure that he goes
leads
after the
the
truth,
district attorney's
and
office.
pushes all of the DAs to do the same. But to make sure that you go after the truth, do it fairly, make sure that every person is receiving the justice that they deserve, and make sure that each officer is doing their job properly. And so that's really what any district attorney's job is, to present evidence, and the fact of all the evidence that's presented to them from the police department, provide that to the
he did
attorneys,
appeal it.
and so that way that they can prepare for any trial setting and make
He
sure that
already
any defendant
appealed
can
it.
present their case in a trial the best way they possibly can.
And in this case, let's talk about some of the evidence, some of the
He already appealed it. Plus, Charleston White, since he want to act like he got 75,000 when he really don't even got fucking 75,000 to put up. Then the second time he come, he talk about raising 75,000. Nigga, I thought you had 75,000. But I'm glad Cardi B stepped in, and she gonna provide the family with up to $5 million for a top tier lawyer after this appeal that they just filed.
facts that have been laid out as far as what we're hearing
Shout out to
from
Cardi
police.
B.
And
Y'all
I know
like
we've
the
talked about
video,
this before.
subscribe to
And
the
Carmelo
channel.
Anthony's defense is going to be that I felt threatened and I had to turn to force, and that ended up in the loss of life of Austin Metcalf. Based on what the law says in the state of Texas about self-defense, how strong of a case does he have?
I want to say, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's very, very strong. And I'm just going to be honest with you. There's been such a, I guess, a very strong,
Yeah, y'all. Shout out Cardi B. She putting up to $5 million up for the family, for Carmelo family, to be able to get a top tier lawyer. Because they filing this appeal, she want to be able to help them.
heating, I guess, going on in the area where people are just upset about both sides, really on both sides. But what I would say is that he doesn't necessarily
Yes,
have a
sir,
very
Charles.
strong
That's real,
argument
guys.
there for self-defense. Hopefully his defense counsel has something that they're going to be
Yep,
talking
Charleston,
about in
a
trial that we
clown
haven't
like a
heard yet.
motherfucker.
But based off of just what the law is right now, you have, as self-defense, you
Yep,
have to
most
bring
likely he
equal
coming home.
force to whatever it is that is assaulting you or that you
Yeah,
are
he definitely
presented
gonna
with.
beat the case
So
with
if
5
someone
M's.
is pushing you,
A
you
lawyer
don't
work.
necessarily to go back and shoot them
That's
with a
like
gun.
what's the boy name? What's the boy name? Young Thug had uh that defense attorney out there in Atlanta. That's who we need. That white boy right there, he ain't losing nothing. He ain't. I'm talking about he ain't losing.
Force for
Yep, he
pushing will
top
be back
defense
with
lawyer
your
through
hands,
all of
right?
Georgia.
That
So
is equal force. And
I just
so
can't remember
it
his name right
rises
now.
above.
His name.
We don't have, there is surveillance video that I know the school district showed reporters, but it seems from the description that you can't really see a lot of what happened. And we don't know that there's video to this point that exactly shows it. But could Carmelo Anthony argue, his attorneys argue, that an Austin Metcalf was being very, Judge Angela Tucker decided against that,
I
but there's
was
so
just
much that's
having
visually
problems.
playing
My
out
bad,
outside of court,
y'all.
and there's been threats. The judge was threatened. The family of Carmelo Anthony has said threatened. You've seen Jeff Metcalf of Austin. Family of Carmelo Anthony has said threatened. You've seen Jeff Metcalf of Austin Metcalf's dad. Austin Metcalf's dad. He can't imagine through having lost a son. So there's just
to defend himself in this way.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
just
his
like
argument.
this
When a
motherfucker
judge
acting
makes the
stupid.
determination of how to lower a bond, they take into consideration the same things they take into consideration in every case. So when you have a bond hearing, what is the offense? Murder. Okay, we're at the highest level there. Then, does the person have any criminal history? No. Is the person a resources means to go to or go to Dubai, right, and never come back, and does it come back for the actual trial setting? Does the family have the means in order to pay what the original bond amount was? The original bond amount in this case was $1 million. The family has stated and testified that they did not have the resources in order to do that. And then the last element there is he a threat to himself or to others? And in this situation, this is an isolated matter. He's not going around saying, hey, I'm going to shoot up multiple people, or I have a history of doing something like that to where I'm a violent person to society. In this situation, it's isolated. So he doesn't pose a threat to himself or to others. So the court allowed for the bond to be reduced down. And then the person can post that bond if he has the resources to do, which he was able to, but he still had to have an
That's
ankle
what it
monitor.
is.
So Carmelo Anthony can't leave his
That's what his
home
name is,
without
Brian
getting
Steele.
permission from Judge Tucker. So he is at his house. This is just allows him to not be in jail until the case is resolved, but to be at his home with his family until the case is resolved. I think sometimes people get the bond hearing confused with the actual trial setting. The only purpose of a bond hearing is, do you need to stay in jail, isolated here until the case is resolved, or can you go home and stay there until the case is resolved?
in the district attorney's announcement of the grand jury indictment, there was a line that talked about in Texas, if you're convicted of first-degree murder, you could spend 9. That felt very low for first-degree murder, just as an outsider kind of looking at it, because when you think of someone who's convicted of that crime, they're never going to get out of prison ever again. Who would ultimately, and we have a long way to go, but if this ends in a guilty verdict, who decides whether it is 5 years or 9 years?
Well, that depends on if the defense counsel goes to the judge or to the jury for punishment. So if they decide to go to the judge, then Judge Tucker or whoever is the appointed judge would make that determination. And they use a series of factors to make that determination. Has the person, been in type of anger management counseling? Have they been doing any type of mitigating circumstances? They would take into account any criminal history, which he doesn't have any. They would take into account the testimony of the victim's family, so their words and what they have to say. She takes into account the testimony of the defendant's family as well. So there's multiple factors that go into that. Then the defense counsel also has the option of going to the jury. So the same individuals who made the determination of guilt innocence can also have the determination of determining the amount of years that a person spends in prison, or if there's something else that needs to be attached to that as well.
So did you say the defense? So if he's found, it's their decision of whether or not whether it's the jury or the judge makes the call?
Correct. Right. That's correct. And so they can choose to go to a jury or the judge. In a situation like this, if I'm defense counsel, if it gets to that point, then I'm going to set to go to the judge for punishment. And that's because the judge has history, right, of listening to cases similar to this. They're less emotionally involved. So they're there to seek exactly what it is fair based off of the facts that were presented. I'm defense counsel in this case, I would be going to the judge for punishment if it got to that point.
Right. And you're in the Dallas area, and it seems like every time that this case comes up, I mean, it's very, very divisive. And we've seen tension between the families. I know Jeff Metcalf showed up at a news conference for it's a lot. And I think about a jury in Collin County where probably everybody has an opinion on what happened. How do you get a fair jury, an impartial jury in a case like this that everybody's talking about?
That's a tough one. I would say that I know that there has been some discussions about changing venues, and that just means changing counties, right? Because it would be difficult to find a fair and an impartial jury in the county of which it happened in. And so that has to be approved, right? So it has to be approved by the judge in the Collin County area, in that court, in order for it to venues to move. So I would say that's probably the first way, is change of venue. The second way,
the judge got to approve it, though. He's not going to approve it.
Just to try to do a really, really good voir dire. And voir dire is just a questioning of the jury pool, where the defense counsel and prosecution gets an opportunity to question each of the potential jurors, asking them their true and biased and unbiased thoughts on various issues that are related to this particular offense. So things that are related to the offense that occurred itself. So this situation.
Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel.
How do they feel about
coming in?
Tension?
Come on.
How do they feel about
like the video, subscribe to the channel. We still in it.
Right.
We finna get into Dr. UMAR right quick.
A defense counsel and prosecutor can ask any of the people in the jury pool, and so that would be the main thing there.
Yeah, it's a case that, if you're a parent, you feel for the Metcalf family, and you think of KARMELO Anthony's family as well, like those parents and the threats that they say that they've been taking. It's just a really tough case all the way around. So sad that Austin Metcalf lost his life. We'll see how the legal process plays out. Bridget Williams, thank you for taking the time to be with us. It's always great to have you on Law and Crime.
Thank you for having me.
That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. And see, I love Chris, because Chris gonna break it down. He gonna really get into it, and then he bring an expert on, an expert that's working within the judicial system that could tell us every single crack and crevice of the case. Now, as far as him for an appeal and all of that, I don't really think he should file an appeal. I think he should set a retrial. Yeah, he should go for a retrial. Yep, and they switch out the jury. They select a new jury. He has a new attorney, and I will wish him the best of luck from there, But yeah, that's crazy, man. So now we finna get into what Dr. UMAR said, right? Because he's gonna really break it down from the pro-black side and from a doctor's standpoint of view, because he's well educated. So let's hear what Dr. UMAR said, and then we're gonna go to how he reacted after he heard that KARMELO Anthony got 35 years.
Daddy Metcalf never forgave KARMELO Anthony for what happened to his son.
Yeah.
But let that have been a black mother or a black father. They would have forgave him the minute they got the phone call.
I do want to start somewhere, though, that is pressing on
Shout
Black
out to
America.
It's
There's a
Up
lot
There
of people
podcast.
speaking about it.
I want to start with the Carmelo Anthony case.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
To me, it feels bigger than a courtroom. As a young black man that's convicted and there's a white young man that's dead. The family is grieving, the internet is divided, and black parents are looking at this, wondering how do we protect our sons. Did you have a chance to look at the case, and what do you feel about, we'll get to the sentencing. Let's deal with the verdict first. What do you feel about the verdict?
What did you say before that? We'll get to the
sentencing.
The sentencing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I want to say this. Caucasian nation, the good white folks of America, are so disingenuous.
Y'all don't pay no attention to
And
him.
the reason I say Caucasian nation,
Tell us the reason.
is so disingenuous, Loon, is because when black people receive an unfair trial,
Yep.
we are supposed to respect the verdict.
Yep.
But when white people feel that they haven't received a fair trial, they don't have to respect the verdict. The other thing that makes Caucasian nation so disingenuous, Loon, is they always like to treat every black case in its own special vacuum. In other words, when we talk about Carmelo Anthony,
Yeah.
we can't talk about the man who took Trayvon Martin's life.
George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman. You can't put it in context.
Can't mix it.
We can't talk about Rick Child, who took Cyrus Carmack Belton's life.
Right.
We can't talk about Kyle Rittenhouse getting off, Rick Child getting off. Daniel Penny choked a man out in a New York subway and got off on standing his ground, and the man never touched him.
That's crazy.
The reason white society, Caucasian nation, doesn't like black people to discuss our legal lynchings in context, because if you put it in context, Loon, you cannot come to any other decision that there are two standards of justice in this country. One black, one white, and it's been that way for 407 years. Now, with that being said,
Dr. Umar go preach.
we have to understand that to
Y'all
be
like
black
video,
in
subscribe
America
to the
is a
channel.
crime in and of itself. In fact, the original crime of America is to be black.
The original crime.
The original crime.
Now I can believe that. I can believe that. I can believe the original crime of America is to be black. Look, y'all. I'm from the ghetto, like Dolph, right? I'd have moved my family to the suburbs. Anytime I am driving as a black man with these dreads, I swear to God, I can't drive no nice car for nothing. Every time I drive past a police or driving in traffic with a police and they see that I'm black, they pull me over. They pull me over. I done got smart now. I know my laws and everything. They used to be able to pull me over and instantly say, hey, can you step out of the vehicle? Can I step out of the vehicle? Yeah, step out of the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Just violate my rights right away. I used to let them. Not no more. But yeah, I believe Dr. Umar when he said that the original crime of America is being black. He crazy.
Original
The first crime.
The first crime was to be black. Because remember, Loon, we were never supposed to be citizens. We were never supposed to be free. We were never supposed to be here after slavery ended. So every time a white person sees you, your existence itself is a crime against white humanity. Now, with the Carmelo Anthony situation, we also see clearly that black people have no legal right to stand your ground, even in a state where standing your ground is legal.
That's crazy to me. And so for me, that affects my understanding, because I'm having trouble comprehending how, okay, I'm sitting down, he's standing up. Before we get into the details of the case, though, do you think he got a fair trial, Carmelo Anthony?
He could not get a fair trial.
It was impossible.
It was impossible.
Right.
He's in Collin County, Texas. Black people are 10%. If that, how is he going to get a fair trial? Loon, if the trial was going to even attempt to be fair, why would there be no black jurors?
You said Collin County.
For the trial to even,
10%.
the Constitution says you're supposed to be tried by a jury of who? Your peers. They had a jury of all whites. Every man was Caucasian. 3 Asians,
ain't none of them
1 Arab. Now, I want to say this to Black America, Loon. Multiculturalism died with Carmelo Anthony's conviction. Multiculturalism died with Carmelo Anthony's conviction. And the reason I say multiculturalism died with Carmelo Anthony's conviction is because if non-white people of color gave a damn about us, Carmelo wouldn't be in jail. Asians don't care about you. Arabs don't care about you. Latinos don't care about you. If they did, Loon, why is there no difference in the outcomes when they are asked to weigh in on the guilt or innocence of African people? All non-blacks in America are white as far as consciousness and opinion goes.
But I think it's always been a one-way street. I think black people has been so given with their love and understanding and their invites, and we receive very little in return for that.
And why do we still give it?
Y'all come on.
I don't know. I think we think it's a part of the barter system.
I'm gonna tell you why we still get it.
It's up
because we don't give it to each other.
Dr. Umar.
That's a fact.
If black love and compassion and forgiveness is universal, each other.
Right.
It ain't universal, Loon. Compassion and love for your non-black enemies is not a function of your spirituality. It's a function of your lack of self-respect. The reason we forgive white people as soon as they unalive is because we deeply desire validation and acceptance by white folks. If you notice, Daddy Metcalf never forgave Carmelo Anthony for what happened to his son. But let that have been a black mother or a black father. They would have forgave him the minute they got the phone call. We don't teach people to respect black life because we forgive them as soon as they take black life. You ain't never seen no white person forgive no black person. Even in a justifiable homicide, which is what Carmelo's situation was, they ain't never forgiven. Only black people do that. It has nothing to do with Jesus, Muhammad, or spirituality. It's about your need for white validation.
Do you think that the 35 years felt like justice, though?
He said we got a need for white validation. I think he's right. I think he's right, y'all. I got a lot of good white friends. They my road dogs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all my white friends. Hunter Khan, I know you out there. Hey, y'all. Hey, he getting to it. Dr. Umar, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel.
It should have never came to that, first of all. It should have never came to that, first of all.
So you think he should have got off innocent of the charges that was brought on Carmelo Anthony?
Let's go back, because you're putting the cart before the horse. Let's go back to the indictment from the grand jury. The grand jury decided Carmelo would be charged with murder. Who's on the grand jury, Loon? You don't know. It's a secret.
Knows.
I want you to see how white supremacy operates behind the scenes.
Nobody knows.
You can't challenge the grand jury, Loon, because you don't even know who they are.
Right.
So the people who decided this 17-year-old...
See, the grand jury is a jury of judges. You're not supposed to know who they are. They that high. Supreme Court grand jury is from the Supreme Court. They that high. You don't supposed to know. Their life could be threatened at any time. So when they make those big decisions, they identity is disclosed. All of them. Every single judge on the grand jury.
would be charged with murder are complete secrets. And you and I both know they all white. Are you with me? So first, deal with the grand jury. Him being charged with murder was a crime in and of itself.
So what do you say about the
Let
event?
me give you one more. You're moving too fast. Hold on.
Thank y'all for the
In
likes.
Texas, if
Thank
you're
y'all for the
17,
subscribes.
you're automatically tried as an adult. Grand jury had no control over that. Are you with me?
Yes.
He was 17. He's
Okay, in
automatically
Texas.
tried as an adult, but he
Okay.
doesn't automatically have to be indicted with murder.
Right.
That could have been aggravated, right? Manslaughter.
Right.
There's a whole list of crimes that could have went with
So
him.
you're saying he should have been charged, just not with the first degree murder or whatever? Was it first degree?
He didn't have to be charged at all.
Okay.
So
This could have been self-defense.
a white young boy body drops, and you think
Nah, it
he
couldn't
should not have been charged?
self-defense. We know what
The
self-defense
reason you labeled it a white boy is
We'll
you're
go
putting it
back
within
to
the
the
context of the racism of American society. Let me flip it around for you, Loon. If two 210 pound football players, black football players, walk up to a 135 pound black boy, grab him by the hoodie, put him in a headlock, try to jump him and stomp him out, and that white boy unintentionally stabs him, or he falls onto the white boy's knife, which is what we believe happened. Okay? Austin fell onto Carmelo's knife trying to attack him.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what they believe happened, he says. But no, it can't be self-defense because we already know what self-defense means. I'm going to give y'all the definition of self-defense. Self-defense is a legal right to act of using a reasonable degree of force to protect oneself, others, or one's property from imminent harm or attack. But it's a reasonable degree of force. It's not a miscalculated degree of force. It's reasonable. So that means you wouldn't kill someone in self-defense, right? You might harm someone, but you wouldn't kill them. You're reasonable with it, right? Let's get into this next Dr. Umar clip.
Carmelo Anthony, how do you feel about him getting indicted for first degree murder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unfortunate, but I wasn't surprised. We understand how the criminal justice system operates in this country when it involves
Y'all come on in,
African
like
people.
the video,
Nothing
subscribe
is new
to the
under the
channel.
sun, especially when you're dealing with white justice
Dr.
for black
Umar
people
hitting
in
it right
America.
on the head with
What
the
I
hammer.
thought was very interesting about Carmelo Anthony's indictment that I believe we got
Except for on the
yesterday
self-defense.
is the fact
We know
that
what
the day
self-defense
before,
is.
Art, in the same state, but in another county, there was a Caucasian student, an 18-year-old.
Yeah, we know what self-defense is, right? So he can't get off with self-defense. Maybe stand your ground, right? So let's just keep it at maybe stand your ground he could get off with, but not self-defense, because self-defense is a reasonable degree of force. And when you're using a reasonable degree of force, you're not killing someone or taking their life. You may be harming them, but it's a reasonable degree of force. That's what self-defense is, right? So he can't get off with self-defense. It has to be the stand your ground law, which they have in Texas, right? That's what he could get off with. So Dr. Umar been right with everything so far except for self-defense. He can't do self-defense.
Who was indicted following the stabbing of a fellow 18-year-old student
Y'all
in his
like the
high
video,
school. I think it
subscribe
was
to the channel.
Belton High School in another county in Texas. This incident, this unfortunate
Everybody who
incident
already liked
occurred
the
about
video
3
and
years
subscribe
ago.
to the channel.
Him
I
and
appreciate
a
you.
Latino student, they had beef. Allegedly, they had planned to meet up in the boys' bathroom and fight. And so some of the Latinos were there, and Casey Allison was there, and allegedly Jose Ramirez Jr., I believe he's a junior, rest in peace,
Now, this is also the situation I was telling you all about with the Latino kid and the white kid who got who arranged to fight each other in the bathroom in the same city in the same state, Texas, as Carmelo Anthony. The white kid stabbed the Latino kid and killed him during the fight, and the white kid only received 2 years for it. Now watch Dr. Umar. He finna explain it. Compare it to Carmelo Anthony's case. Y'all like the video? Subscribe to
To
the
him
channel.
and condolences to his family. They allege that he swung first, punched Casey Allison in the face. You know, both
Casey
of their
Allison
groups
is the
that were
white
with them, I
boy.
think they got into a little bit of an altercation, and they said that Casey Allison pulled out a knife that he had brought to school that day
Uh-huh.
and stabbed
Y'all like the
Jose 4
video?
times.
Subscribe to the channel.
And he was not charged with murder. He was not charged with first-degree murder. He wasn't charged with second-degree murder. He wasn't charged with manslaughter. I believe he was charged with, was it reckless? I forget the exact charge that
Reckless
he got,
homicide.
but it wasn't murder
Reckless
and it
homicide.
wasn't manslaughter. And in fact,
He got reckless homicide. That's what he got charged with. The white kid that stabbed the Latino kid and killed him in the bathroom. They were supposed to be fighting. The Latino kid swung first, and the white boy stabbed him, killed him. He got charged with reckless homicide.
Art, he could have actually been sentenced to as little as 6 months to 2 years based on the charge that he was given. But the judge decided to add a weapons upgrade. In Texas, you can add something that's called a weapons upgrade, and I might not have the exact terminology correct there, but it's you can upgrade a charge to make it a more serious charge. And that's what this judge decided to do. Had the judge not done that, that young man could have been home in as little as 6 months to 2 years. But because of the serious weapons upgrade that the judge
Thank
put on
y'all
the
for the
case,
likes. Make
he
sure
was
you
sentenced
subscribe to the channel.
the day before yesterday. He was sentenced to 2 years, and he does not. Excuse me. He was sentenced to 10 years, and he does not have to do the full 10 years. Art.
Wow.
He does not have to do the full 10 years. And the reason I'm bringing this case up with Casey Allison or Casey Allison is because it's very similar to the Carmelo Anthony case. Very similar. There are differences, but it's very similar. The fact that he brought a knife to a fight that he knew he would be having clearly shows premeditation.
Yeah. Now, this is an instance of a white kid who stabbed a Latino kid in the bathroom. Same city, same state as Carmelo Anthony, but he only received 10 years for reckless homicide. He was charged with reckless homicide. He stabbed the Latino kid and took his life. The white boy was charged with reckless homicide, and he received 10 years because the judge put a weapons upgrade on his charges. And the only reason he put the weapons upgrade on his charges is because Carmelo Anthony's case is going on at the same time. So they have to, you know what I'm saying? They have to be able to justify giving Carmelo Anthony 35 years and charging him with first degree murder. But that's what I was talking about when it comes to black men and white men in America and how the law protects the white man, but it damns the black man, right? The white man, when he missed court, the judge gonna miss court 5 times. The judge gonna tell him to pay $25 for each time he missed court. The black man, we don't get that. No, the judge gonna tell us to serve 5 days for every time we miss court. So you miss court 6 times, you got 30 days, right? Because the jail gonna receive $250 from each inmate. When the jail house you, what they call house you when you get locked up in jail, the government pays the jail $250 per inmate per night for so-called housing the inmate, which is putting a roof over your head, right? So it's a $1 billion industry, but it's meant for the black man to put him back into slavery. That's what I believe anyway.
Clearly shows premeditation.
Yeah.
I'm going into a fight, I'm bringing my knife. That's premeditation, and yet he still was not charged with murder, and he still was not charged with manslaughter.
Right.
Very important. And my personal belief, Art, is the reason that the judge decided to add the serious weapons upgrade is because if Case and Allison would have went home, Art, with a sentence of 6 months to 2 years, there's no way that that could have no bearing on the outcome of Carmelo Anthony's case. I mean, look at it, Art. Monday, Case and Allison gets the 10-year sentence.
Right.
Tuesday, Carmelo Anthony is indicted on first-degree murder. You can't tell me that there was not communication from the district attorneys involved. You can't tell me that there was not communication from the prosecutors involved. And both cases involve students who attended the same school. So I believe in order to justify whatever they're going to try to do to
Oh man, so that's another thing. This white kid went to the same school as Carmelo Anthony. So the white kid at Carmelo Anthony's school, he stabs a Latino kid and kills him. Carmelo Anthony stabs a white kid and kills him. Right? But the white kid and the Latino, they planned on fighting each other the next day in the bathroom. So that means the white kid went home and premeditated this. He went home and said, I'm going to bring a knife and I'm going to stab him. I ain't finna fight him. You know what I'm saying? Okay? And Carmelo Anthony, him and Austin's situation was different. Carmelo Anthony just had the switchblade tool on him in his backpack. Ended up pulling it out because Austin snatched the backpack from him, but he already had it in his hand. They go to whooping on him. He ran. Boom. That's how that went down. You know what I'm saying? But the white kid, that shit was premeditated and he got reckless homicide. They didn't even charge him with first-degree murder. Carmelo Anthony's situation wasn't even premeditated and they charged him with first-degree murder. But watch this. This white boy that killed the Latino, he went to Carmelo Anthony's school. So this is two students at the same school, but look how they publicized the black student. Y'all didn't even know about the white kid who stabbed the Latino in the bathroom. And watch this, they gave him the 10 years Monday, and then Carmelo Anthony's trial started Tuesday, so they wanted to go and get him out the way. So people wouldn't say, hold on, this is another kid from Carmelo Anthony's school. He's white. He stabs him. How y'all gonna do him like that? See, they didn't want y'all to see that. Come on, now these folks went to the same school. This school need to be shut down or something. It sounds like a lot of stabbings go on at this school. A lot of bullying and shit go on at this school. This school need to be shut down. It's a private school full of rich kids. And if blacks only take up 10% of Collins County, you can imagine how many black kids are at each school. probably 2 or 3. So they only make up 0.3 or 0.5 or 1% of the school. They probably don't even see each other in the schools. It's crazy. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Carmelo Anthony, they had to give Kaysen Allen more time, Art.
Right.
They could not let him go home after 6 months to 2 years and try to throw Carmelo Anthony under the bus. And what I find interesting, Art, is that Kaysen Allison's case is not getting the same amount of attention that Carmelo Anthony's case is getting. You don't see the same type of outcry. You know, his family isn't getting death threats.
Right.
The judge was not being criticized and condemned for reducing bail, because Kaysen Allison also had his bail reduced, Art. Nobody said nothing. But when the sister judge reduced bail for Carmelo Anthony, there was a national outcry. And I just think these two cases continue to show us, as African people in America, the double standard that exists at the heart of the American criminal injustice system. Now, looking at Carmelo Anthony, Art, the video was released on the school district's website. I have not seen the video. They are requiring that you register on the website, if what I've been told is accurate, and then when you register, they will grant you access to view the video.
Right.
But the video has not been made available for people to see it conveniently on YouTube or anywhere else. And my question, Art, if you're so convinced that Carmelo Anthony did not have a right to stand his ground, if you're so convinced that he engaged in premeditated first-degree murder, why not show the video for all to see? Why are you only putting it on a certain platform and making people register in order to watch this video? Why do you need the names of everyone who views this video, Art? To me, they have something to hide. Because as you know, Art, when black people commit crimes, they put it on the internet within weeks.
Right.
It's out there. When we are guilty, Art, as you know, they put it out there for everybody to see it.
Right.
Why are they being so careful and so particular about releasing the Carmelo Anthony quote unquote stabbing video? Why are you not showing it? Why is it not on YouTube? Why has it not been released to TMZ, to CNN, to C-SPAN, to Headline News, to USA Today, to the New York Times, to the LA Times? Why is it not being shown on these mainstream white-owned media platforms? And I believe it's because, number one, you either manipulated the video, and people might be able to tell. I'm not saying they did it, Art. I'm saying that I'm suspicious of the possibility that the video may have been doctored, because why can it only be seen on your website? And you can't use the excuse that these were school-age children. And the reason you can't use that excuse, Art, is because you can redact their faces.
Subscribe to the channel.
You can redact their faces and still show the video. So you can't use that. You can redact their faces and still show the video. So I don't know why they're being so selective about who watches this video, but they're never that protective of a black child. And they're clearly not protecting Carmelo Anthony because they want to see the young man spend the rest of his life in jail. So I believe that that video, if it is shown in its entirety as it happened, will reveal some evidence that will lead a lot of people to believe that Carmelo Anthony, in fact, was justified in standing his ground and defending his life. And the one thing that came out since our last conversation, Art, was the
y'all like the video, subscribe
took
to the
place
channel.
on the bleachers.
Don't forget.
I didn't know the incident took place on the bleachers. So not only do you have Carmelo Anthony minding his business under this tent on the bleachers, these two racist white children, and again, I'm sorry for the loss of the son to the parents. I'm sorry he's gone, whether he's black, white,
Yeah.
red, yellow, or brown.
Damn right.
Nobody deserves to be predeceased by their
Damn
children.
right.
I want to be
Damn
clear
right.
about that.
Thank you.
But with that being said,
Thank
you
you
have
for
these
being
two white
clear.
boys, athletes, who weigh more than Carmelo does, who
Thank y'all
come
for
to
the
him.
likes and the
They have a
subscribes.
history of bullying students, Art. That's another thing that
Yeah.
has come out in this. They have a history of bullying students. This is not the first time.
Right.
And I'm being told that they threw, and again, I didn't see the video, but people are telling me that they threw Carmelo Anthony or attempted to throw Carmelo Anthony down on the bleachers. Other people are arguing that the video does not show that. Some of these Sambos are arguing that there was no altercation at all.
Right.
So I'm saying to that, Art, there may not have been a physical altercation. But if they came over and entered Carmelo Anthony's space,
Yeah.
clearly that is a behavior of aggression. Two white kids approaching a black kid, coming into his personal space, that is clearly an act of aggression, whether you touched him or not. And depending on what they said to Carmelo Anthony, Art, which will come out in the trial, depending on what they said to Carmelo Anthony, if they did not in fact put hands on him, what they said to him in the form of a threat could have alerted him to the potential for violence and harm, which again would have justified him standing his ground. So I'm saying here and now, whether they physically accosted him
Y'all
or
like
not,
the video,
he may have
subscribe to the
still
channel.
been justified to stand his ground, given the fact that he was face to face with two racists who were larger than he.
Let's do that. Now, yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what we were saying, y'all. We were saying, yeah, he can't get self-defense, but he can get the stand your ground. He can get stand your ground because the stand your ground law, you know what I'm saying, allows him to use force if he feels any kind of danger, and he feels himself is in any imminent danger, like right then and there. It's right there around the corner. Yeah, use any kind of force. You know what I'm saying, to get himself out of that situation. So that's why I said, yeah, he can't get self-defense, but he can use the stand your ground law, right?
Was, who were threatening to remove him, and he felt he only had one opportunity to defend himself. So whether they touched him or not, I'm standing 10 toes down for Carmelo Anthony and his family. And how do you get a first-degree indictment, Art? How does the grand jury come back with a first-degree indictment? Carmelo for murder, first-degree murder indictment. Carmelo Anthony didn't know he was going to get into a fight with them that day. He didn't know they was going to come over to him and try to remove him from the tent. He didn't know that them two racist white kids were going to try to throw him down on the bleachers. So how did he get first degree, Art? I don't even think he should have had second degree either. But first degree, when you got another kid a few counties over in the same state who took a knife to a fight that he knew he would be having and stabbed the kid 4 times inside of a school, Art, when he could have ran and told a teacher, ran and told a security guard, ran and told the principal.
Right.
Instead of doing that, he stabs the kid, but he don't get a murder charge. He don't get a manslaughter charge.
Homicide charge.
I think he gets criminally negligent homicide or something like that, Art. I can't remember the exact charge, but it wasn't first degree murder, second degree murder. It wasn't even manslaughter.
Dr. UMAR does not know. It's reckless homicide. He said it at first. He said, man, it's reckless. I can't think of it. It's reckless something. Yeah, reckless homicide. Right? It doesn't care. It can carry less time than a manslaughter charge. A lot of people that might drink and drive, anybody that has drunk and drive and hit somebody or hit somebody and kill somebody, they got reckless homicide. because they were drunk when they did it. They didn't even realize what they was doing or what they did until after they came down from the wreck, and they sitting in jail and they like, yeah, you killed somebody, my guy. They're like, what? Reckless homicide. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you explain that? And I do believe the stabbing took place in a school bathroom. I believe it did. Don't quote me on that. It could have been off campus, but I think it was on campus. Okay, so how does he only get this charge, which could have sent him home in 6 months to 2 years, and Carmelo Anthony out the gate for an incident that he could not have predicted would happen on that day is being charged with first-degree murder? This is clearly a case of unfair justice.
Yeah, it's definitely unfair. I couldn't believe it when I first heard it, that he got indicted on first-degree murder.
Because he can go to jail for the rest of his life, Art.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony, God forbid, ancestors forbid, divinities forbid, Carmelo Anthony can go to jail for the rest of his life. Art, how do you explain that when you have another kid who does not get charged with first-degree murder, stabs the kid 4 times at a fight he knew he was going to be having and brought a knife for that purpose, but he don't get first-degree murder charge in the same state? The double standard of black-white justice.
It don't make sense. It's racism.
Absolutely.
Man. Yep. So yeah, man, to wrap it up, there was Dr. Umar, man. He hit it right there on the head with the hammer, man. Basically black injustice. You know what I'm saying? Man, God bless Carmelo. Rest in peace, Austin. Man, y'all already know what this is. This is Blockstar Analytics. What are we? We are Blockstar Analysts. What did we just do? We just analyzed the fuck out of that shit. I love you, chat. Thank you, chat. And God bless. Don't forget to like the video. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel to become a part of the family. Listen, man. You've been chilling with yours truly. Straight from Memphis. It's Blockstar Embassy. Don't you forget me. And we out of this, junk, y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.